JJK is back. I'm back. We got new Jujutsu Kaisen content. Feels like it's been a long time, even though it's only been 1 week. But you know, coming from the anime's gonna be going for 3 weeks, but it's in its 2-week span right now, so that'll be coming back. But at least we got the manga to look forward to. And I ain't gonna lie, just to fill the void, I've been playing Fortnite. The hollow purple in there go kind of crazy. It's been kind of fun. But we're continuing the greatness that is Gojo versus Sukuna in 232, and we could check off one of the things we haven't seen in the series in a long time off the list. Something I thought Yuji was gonna do, but Gojo beat him to the punch. So let's go ahead and get into this crazy epic chapter. Round 2 of this fight has been really centered around Mahoraga's Dharma wheel and its adaptation, which in turn is going to force Sukuna to be more defensive, while Gojo, although he may be on a time limit, Gojo's going to get the most offense he's ever had on Sukuna off at this point. And boy, did that motherfucker Gojo get damage off. Speaking of adaptation, it's interesting that Yuji brings up the theory of the wheel adapting after 1 hit and then time progresses and then it'll eventually adapt, or after 2 to 3 hits, it's going to automatically adapt to that attack or that curse technique. I'm personally going to lean towards the first one, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's kind of like a mixture. For example, after the first hit of a curse technique, Mahoraga will start to adapt, but if you use it again, damage will lessen and it will automatically adapt after the second time. Blue Laps was used a lot, and in this chapter I'd argue it was using one of the coolest panels in the manga. After seeing how it looked in season 2 of the anime, this is gonna look like crack in season 4. Gojo preps Laps in his fist, then his Sukuna is on the building pillar. He surrounds Laps around Sukuna, and it looks like many planets are just orbiting around him, tracking him enough for Gojo to blindside him. And Sukuna loves throwing this high leg kick. He's done it at least 2 or 3 times in this fight, and Sukuna consistently gets caught and countered with this kick. It's almost like in Street Fighter 6, when you know Wake Up Shoryuken is coming, you just already know to block or either parry. This triggered the third spin, and Sukuna is just biding time as he smiles because he knows that one more spin and Gojo's gonna be heavily limited. Gojo smelling blood, he sees an opening and has a plan in mind. By the way, love this top panel of Sukuna and Gojo going through the glass, and Mei's curls are recording the fight, and the speed or transition lines also make it look like it's a filter over like an action scene. Really some cool shit. Gojo aims at Sukuna with reversal red. Sukuna telegraphs it, and dropping the wheel goes black and uses amplification to reduce the damage. Sukuna, as usual, is talking trash, calling Gojo sloppy, but Gojo launched red with the intention to lap around Sukuna, exploding at his back. At least that's what I presume happened. I never really took in the fact that reversal red is like a double impact move, but like that beams is like the warning shot while the actual blast pushes the opponent doing the real damage. And it's really interesting because we've never seen red used like this. It's almost like it took the properties of blue as it was doing the red when it came to doing actual pushing. It's really different. We never seen Gojo use it in a way like that, which to me, if anything, it shows the limit that Gojo is going to be Sukuna. He's using a technique that we, at least on screen, haven't seen him use in a variety of ways. Plus, these two would literally just counter each other move for move. It's just at this point Gojo has the advantage. The impact from red definitely caught the king off guard, and Gojo, for the first time on screen and on panel, lands a black flash boosted punch to the gut. The first black flash since Yuji used it in Shibuya in his final battle with Mahito. It's been about, I want to say, 3 years since we've seen the sparks of black, and of course it had to be this fight where we've seen practically everything. And of course, our MC Yuji is the one to announce that this is Black Flash. And this punch actually knocks Sukuna out cold, eyes glazed over and everything. Those liver shots ain't nothing to play with. Just look at Ryan Garcia. But the fourth spin was triggered as the wheel is falling off of the king's head. Gojo tried to destroy it, but it was too late because the Grim Reaper, Mahoraga, adapted, emerged from the shadows, and slashes the honored one across the chest. And just like Sukuna having his opening 2 chapters of dominance, Gojo had his 2 chapters of overwhelming force, but Sukuna's Mahoraga inevitably changed the game, and now it's really looking bad for Gojo. Intense outcome from this chapter with Black Flash and everything that's come so far. We basically seen officially everything except technically maximum technique, although you can kind of make a point that we don't really need that because I don't really see the point at this time to even really try to let that out. But I will say that so far, even though a lot of people have said that Gojo is just dragging Sukuna, it's really kind of to be the opposite, because if you really look at it, Gojo has done all of this damage to Sukuna, and Sukuna has had a reaction to it, or at least something to counter it every single time. It took Gojo to use domain expansion at least 4 times just to get Infinite Void off. He countered Hollow Purple, which was a boosted Hollow Purple to 120%, and it was a surprise attack, and he was still able to take that and only lose a half of his arm, which I feel like a lot of people should have known by then that Sukuna, at least from a durability standpoint, way much more dangerous than Gojo. Now granted, that is part of the fact that he is half cursed spirit, but I feel like those feats right there to me is very impressive. And of course, Gojo has his impressive feat of surviving the domain expansion on multiple occasions and showing off just how dangerous Gojo can be with Limitless. But this chapter, to me, with Black Flash being used, it really signals that this fight is going to really be ending in another 2 chapters at most. Especially now that Mahoraga's full form is back, and he's going to have to fight Mahoraga offensively, because Mahoraga originally, the first time, was only used for defensive purposes. Now that he's actually physically doing damage to Gojo, it's just not looking good. It's not much he can really do. I'm curious to see what he's going to pull out. I don't know if he wants to go into a Hollow Purple just to get rid of him immediately, or Reversal Red, but at this point I feel like Mahoraga's already adapted to red and blue, so it's not that much for Gojo to do at this point. And domain expansion is pretty much out of the question too. And just to kind of take it in, the history between the Satoru clans, Limitless and 6 Eyes versus the 10 Shadows, this could also insinuate that 6 Eyes users really will just struggle against 10 Shadows, because Mahoraga is the ultimate counter to Limitless and Infinity. But at this point, I don't really know what else to even say regarding this fight. We all know this is a top 2, maybe 3 fight at the end of the series, and we've seen everything. So next chapter is really going to be the chapter where we see, is it finally going to be the end of the battle between the strongest, or is Gojo going to have one final trick up his sleeve to at least, at the most, get rid of Mahoraga? Leave a like and subscribe, it helps a lot. Check out the second channel if you want to check out if you want to see any other anime content or any other thing that is not JJK. I'll talk about that on that other channel, but I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Peace.